Hello, this is Jasmine, and today I have a fun little sketchbook video for you guys. It's probably going to be a little bit of a rambly one, as per usual, but I'm actually doing artwork, fan art, of a movie that I did not actually expect to like. So I know I'm a little bit behind on the whole K-pop Demon Hunters train, but I couldn't help it. I had to do artwork of the cute little tiger named Derpy, and just because I was doing the tiger, I had to do the little magpie sussy too, because they go together. And the tiger was just my absolute favorite part. I loved it. But the movie itself, the reason I didn't expect to be super into it is because it just didn't seem like my kind of movie. It felt from the trailers and stuff that I had seen maybe a bit Disney-esque, and not that I dislike Disney, but I guess I thought that it would be just okay, it's a cute kids movie, and I mean kind of, but but I didn't expect to actually really like the story and the characters and the whole vibe of the movie any more than I might like a kids show or something, right? But I thought it was really, really good. And it had a lot of singing in it. I didn't know if I would be very into the music. And to be fair, there's some of it that I'm not into, because I'm not into rap music, but I mean, it was done well, and it didn't detract from it at all to me. So I thought that was really interesting. And even more so, my boyfriend Derek, I wanted to watch the movie because of all the hype. I was like, okay. I wasn't like into I saw the advertisements, so I was like, okay, K-pop Demon Hunters, whatever, new movie. And then the hype went absolutely crazy. And I was like, I have to see what the hype is about. But Derek did not want to watch it at all. He's not like opposed to animated movies or anything like that. It just did not seem like something either one of us would really be interested in. But once we watched it, he was like locked in from the beginning. I took a little bit to warm up. I think it's because I'm not the biggest fan of the first song, probably. But I warmed up to it, and I really, really enjoyed it. But Derek was locked in from the beginning. He loved this movie. He's watched it like 2.5-ish times now. I think he said he fell asleep one of the times. So 2.5, 3 times. And I watched it the one time, and then I watched part of it again, but then I had to go to sleep. So but it was a really fun time. It was a great movie, good rewatchability, and I really enjoy learning about all of the little tidbits about the folklore and whatnot when that I've seen other people do, talking about like the tie-ins of the tiger and the magpie and the little hats that they wear and various other stuff. I just thought it was very, very interesting to learn about. For this piece, I went in with my acrylics in the Baylee J sketchbook, and I'm a little rusty with my acrylics. I don't know, either that or my brushes are giving me problems. Maybe I just shouldn't be using acrylics in a sketchbook. This is actually one of the few times that I have used straight up acrylics in a sketchbook. I don't normally do paintings in a sketchbook. I'll just add some paint on top of a different medium. I'll use watercolor in a sketchbook. But that being said, I think it turned out really well and really cute. I'm not sure I'm going to use acrylics in sketchbooks much anymore, other than the acrylic markers, because it was kind of, I don't know, it just wasn't working real great. But it turned out cute in the end, so that's okay. I did go in also towards the end with my acrylic markers and just do some touch-ups. But the main tiger here is Derpy, of course, the main subject, that is. And his markings are so cool. I love that he's got like these darker stripes with the light inside of them, and he's got like the leopard spots on his chest. I'm not sure if that like represents something specific or if it was just a cool aesthetic thing that they did. I just added like a couple glowy footprints and his glowy eyes, a couple of the letters, and of course I had to include the plant that was knocked over. And the thing with all the checkers over there, that's supposed to be like a waste bin, because at one point a waste bin gets knocked over with all these papers in it. And that's like the weakest point in this little sketchbook spread to me. I'm not a huge fan of how the wastebasket turned out, but it's fine, whatever, it's a sketchbook. I had to remind myself of that a whole bunch, especially I think since I was using my real acrylic paints. I had to be like, it's a sketchbook, it's a sketchbook, it's just a sketchbook, don't worry about it. And I was having a lot of fun on this sketchbook spread, so that did come through, that did win in the end. I also had a lot of fun using the various colors throughout the piece. So these kind of blues, I worked them in on Sussy too. But Sussy's a magpie, and they normally do have bluish colors in them. Although the actual movie didn't show any blue that I saw. But it worked out really well. And I also worked the pinks around pretty much the whole image. I don't know if Sussy has any pinks on him, but in the end I had like a little bit of pink rim lighting kind of stuff, so it gets there. Oh my gosh, this like portal effect that I tried to do with the cat though, I should have just done full body or something, because I struggled so hard with that. I kept going over it over and over again. I think one of the biggest issues was there's no background, so there's no dark scene to really put that bright glowing kind of effect against, and to make like ripples throughout. I think it would be cool to take this piece and adjust it a little bit in an art program. I'm probably going to do that, adjust it digitally whenever I end up scanning it, because it's also just a little wonky. I was sketching it on the couch. I was sketching it on the couch and I wasn't being super refined with it, so everything's tilted a little wonky, but that's okay. Again, I'm probably gonna add some glow effects and fix up any proportions or wonkiness digitally. I do find adding glow effects so much easier digitally, but I'm sure pretty much everybody does. It's hard to make a good glow in actual paint, especially when you don't have a full background. I also, later on, I don't think I recorded it, but the head area of the tiger ends up a little bit too separated looking from the body, and he's supposed to be looking up. So like his chin and everything, his chin is supposed to be there, but like his cheeks and everything are supposed to kind of blend down into his body. There's not supposed to be a harsh line there. I do end up fixing that later on, I believe off camera, but you'll see it in the final shots. Because right here, I mean, he's looking pretty cute right here, but I end up adding some shadow and it really makes his head very separate from his body. I finally went in and added the light colors into the stripes, and I love that. I think it's such a cool effect. And like in some points they glow. I believe they glow. They look like they glow because they're so much lighter. And I believe they're a really, really light blue, but the white, I kind of just used a white blue for them. My colors weren't really working for getting any kind of neon-ish effect. For the paints themselves, in order to try and make them spread a little bit easier on the paper, I had added some it's called retarder. It makes the acrylics dry a little bit slower, but it also will thin them down and makes them a little more spreadable and a little more transparent. So I was using that partially so that I could see my sketch underneath as well, but I was also making sure that the paintbrush stayed very, very damp, and sometimes enough that I mixed a little bit of water in with my paints. And I do believe maybe that was one of the struggles I was having using the acrylics on the sketchbook. Not that they don't work perfectly fine, but I'm used to using acrylic on a non-porous surface, so I wasn't used to the way that they soaked in and dried up really, really fast on a paper surface. So that just made them a little less blendable than usual. And I know a lot of people say acrylics aren't blendable anyways, but they are. I actually find acrylics pretty easy to blend. You just gotta get used to it, and you gotta keep them damp enough while you're working with them. We are going in with some highlights now, which means we're getting real close to the shadows and real close to being finished with the traditional acrylic tube paints. Here's the shadows. This is the part where I'm talking about where I accidentally like define the head area a little too much. I really like the blue color and adding it to the chest and everything and deepening the shadows, but I've got to pull that face body back together a little bit. I loved making his big squishy paws too. It's been a while since I've done any big squishy cat characters. I think I've been doing a lot of dragons lately. That does remind me though that if anyone is familiar with my peppermint kitties, I have these peppermint striped tigers, again tigers, and I have stickers of them with little kittened peppermint tigers and an adult one, and those are available right now on my Ko-fi and on my Etsy, which are linked below. And they're always a limited time only. They're available in the winter, generally November through January. And there's also a bundle available with a kind of festive looking winter dragon scene and sticker, print and sticker. There's a little bundle. I'm not good at advertising myself, okay? There's a little bundle with some holiday themed stickers and a print that are currently available and are only available during the winter. I will show more of them in another video because I'm working on a 2025 bundle, because this would have been 2024's winter bundle, but I want to do a 2025 winter bundle. But I want them each to be available every year. I think it would be fun to have actual holiday launches and whatnot in my shop, because my shop, my stickers and prints and stuff, they're available all the time. But I think it would be cool to also have limited time stuff, like, oh, this is only available for winter, this is only available for spring, maybe some Easter-ish themed kind of things, that kind of stuff, like but like recurring, so they do come back. I don't want to make anything too limited time restricted, because that kind of makes me sad. All right, we're just about to get into the acrylic markers, which means we're in the final touch-up stages, and I really enjoy using these. They work like a dream on top of regular acrylics, and I'm just kind of defining things. I sort of wish I had left the portal how it was, but I go in here and I mess with it a whole bunch more. I don't know why. I also think I should have maybe added like little glowing droplets or like drips up on the portal to make it look goopy-ish or something, like more liquidy. I think would have been really fun. But I'm bringing out all of the highlights and defining things, and here I'm adding a little bit of rim light. I go in with a couple colors. I thought the yellow would look nice because we've got the yellow of the glowing eyes, and I eventually go in with that purple marker that you see there because I want a little extra pop of color that's something different. We only really have a little bit of the purple. I guess I worked it through a bit of the page, but it's only really popping through in the face and the wastebasket. Maybe a little bit in the potted plant. Here I try and make the wastebasket look a little better, and it's fine. I also did not spend a lot of time on this piece. I believe this entire sketchbook spread took me a couple hours. The acrylics took me an hour and a half or so, and I think the rest of it took me another half an hour-ish. Here I've added the purple highlights, and I think they're just such a nice touch to add just another little pop of color and interest to the piece to make it not quite so flat. And I used the gel pen very sparingly as just the whiskers and a little bit of highlights. I also go in very sparingly with the black, which I suppose I already did, for like the mouth and the pupils and stuff. But that looks like it is about it. Here's the final spread. And if you liked this, go ahead and do the whole like and subscribe thing. And thank you guys so much for stopping by.